Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a video where I look back at all of the things that I said I would read during the months of 2022 and then I didn't end up reading them. So now I'm going to name and shame all of the stuff I didn't read. But I think somewhat in November, which is this month, I'm going to start turning things around because I want to do a read it and unhaul it vlog, or maybe series of vlogs, and decide what I want to read and keep and what I don't want to read anymore and I'm not interested in holding on to. So hopefully with that vlog, if I have time to do it, then that will clear out some of my TBR, because this video doesn't include November and December because I'm very much kind of trying to wrap things up this year in terms of what I've started, what I've got left, and then thinking about new releases that are coming out in these months. So it's all happening over here and I'm very stressed just because of life stuff. So hopefully reading doesn't take too much of a backseat, but without further ado, let's jump into the video. So we're looking good to start off with because January and February, my TBRs say that I have none left. So I read everything, but I know for a fact that on my January TBR, I put Saga and I didn't read Saga until October. So that is how behind I am. And then at this point, I feel like this book is a bit of a meme on my channel because I said that I would read this behemoth in March and it has been on and off TBR lists all year. And I don't think I'm going to finish it this year. But granted, it is a reread, and that is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, which is the third Mistborn book. I am, wait for it, 185 pages into this, and I took notes and I was intending on reviewing it, and I just put it down because my mood was like, not today. And that not today has been not for the next 8 months. Maybe I'll read it next year, because at this point it's feeling like I probably won't get to it this year, even though I really want to. I think I just need to cut my losses and go, Beck, you're not going to read it this year. And sometimes that just happens. But I keep beating myself up about it because I genuinely really enjoyed this and I really want to reread it. But given that I've got this and then a whole bunch of other Mistborn books to read before I get The Lost Metal, which comes out this month, I don't think this is gonna happen. Oh, and speak of the devil, on my April list, I said that I had Alloy of Law to read, which is the continuation of Hero of Ages. So Alloy of Law, Shadows of Self, and Bands of Mourning. I almost said Alloy of Law, Hero of Ages. It's now just in my head. I have all of them to get to, but at least Hero of Ages, that's like 700 pages. I think Alloy of Law and those Era 2 books are about 300 to 400 pages each. So literally half of what I put myself through for several months. So I just really need to get to my Mistborn reread, don't I? And then for May, which was my birthday month, I have one left as well. And I was like, you know what? It's my birthday month. I'm going to be super excited and get into a few new series that I've got sitting there waiting for me, but that didn't happen. So I've still got the Blackhawks on my TBR. So I thought, you know what? I'll either start it in my read it or unhaul it vlog, or I will just leave it and read it in 2023. Because I do not mind if I don't start this year because it's a new series. So I might just end up doing that next year and adding that new series to next year's list to keep track of. Because if I read this, I know the other one's out and I don't know if it's duology or not. So I'm going to have to do a bit of research, figure out whether it's a completed series or an ongoing series, and then I'll just put it off a little bit longer and, you know, it'll be fine. And then I'll end up picking it up and really loving it and kicking myself that I didn't read it sooner. So, you know, it's a vicious cycle. And then I don't know how I managed it, but somehow for June, I also have none. I have gone back and I've watched all of my TBR videos, so I have none for June, which is astounding to me. But then we get into July and I have got Men at Arms, but I know for a fact that I also put Guards on one of those TBRs somewhere. So my notes for this month are wrong. But these two by Terry Pratchett, I've also decided that I'll read next year because I started a few Terry Pratchett books and I thought, I'm not really in the mood for them and I don't want to force it, so I might just start them next year, which I'm sorry to my partner because he loves Terry Pratchett and he bought me these. So I feel bad that I'm putting them off, but I feel like I need to be in the mood for them. Otherwise it's not going to hit the same. So I guess that's why I've procrastinated reading them. And I also thought they were middle grade and they're not, they're adult. So that has also put me off a little bit in the sense that I know middle grade will be easier for me to hit the ground running with, whereas adult fantasy takes me a little bit more brain space, as you'd expect. So I have put them off for that reason as well. So I'm just procrastinating all the good books apparently. And then for August, we've got a book that I have absolutely been putting off, and I know I've been putting it off because I don't think I'm going to like it, which is why I've also got it tagged for my Read It or Unhaul It vlog series, or vlog. I shouldn't say vlog series because that's committing to a lot. I'm not even going to get it. It's right here. It's Senlin Ascends. And this was one of Emily Fox's favorites, but I know that it has the woman in the fridge trope, and I hate that trope. It's when a woman dies to further a man's storyline, usually, and I can just see the setup from page 6. So I did start it, and I'm like, I really don't like the tone of it already, but I feel like I need to give it a little bit more time than 6 pages to decide that. But also I DNF'd the humans on 6 pages, so maybe I'm being a hypocrite to myself. I don't know. So I need to just sit down and flick through it and then go, yes, I definitely did not like it. I need to get rid of it. So I just need to do a bit of a spring clean out. And then in September, I was being ambitious again. I always have ambitious thoughts and then the reality doesn't quite pan out that way. I think once we've finished working on our house, you know, all the painting of the walls, the cleaning, the sanding, the varnishing, once I've moved all my books in as well, because it's been more than 6 weeks and I still haven't been able to do that. I think once all of that is more or less under wraps, I'm going to have a lot more time to read and a lot more energy to read. But I still put this on a TBR list. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to continue some series this year. And I decided to go with Fevered Star because I read Black Sun this year and I loved it. And I really want to keep on top of continuing series, which is why I bought this and then wanted to continue immediately, but just didn't have, again, the brain space for adult fantasy. So that is why this is on here as well. But I loved Black Sun. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this when I do get to it. I don't know if I'll get to it in November, maybe December, maybe even next year. It might end up just being next year and that's how it works out. And then we have one more book that I did not get to this year because I obviously can't reflect on my November and then also my December TBR, not yet anyway. But I also have Fence, which was on my October TBR because I thought, you know, I'm going to read all of Saga again and then read the newest volume. I'm going to read Lord Olympus Volume 3. All of them are graphic novels, so I'll just chuck this graphic novel on as well. And I just got very busy again with the house, so that didn't happen. But I don't really care if I don't get to this year. Again, it's starting a series like the Blackhawks, and I thought I'm happy more or less to start series next year and kind of start planning my TBRs for next year because I love planning and I love making lists. So I'm just keen to chuck this on a list for next year and then see what happens when I get to it. And then as far as the last 2 months of the year go, I know I said that I can't really react to them yet, but I know that I have plans projected for them. So Justice of Kings, which is up here, I want to read in December, and then Ninth House I want to reread in December for the Hellbent release in January. So I do have plans, but I'm kind of trying to keep them smaller so that I don't get overwhelmed. And I also want to tackle this TBR cart. So I've got some stuff on here that was my reactions to BookTuber's favorite books. And honestly, I think as a goal, those videos have kind of died. I'm still going to release the vlogs and finish them off, but I think that if I did it again, I'd probably do the reaction and the vlog all as one video rather than separating them because that puts a lot of pressure on me. So I don't think I'm going to do it again, at least not for a while. Because just for those videos, I have at least 4 books here and one of them is quite big. So I don't think those are going to get read in the time limits and constraints that I've set myself. So I really set TBRs as like a motivation for myself because if I don't set anything, then I don't really read anything and I don't motivate myself to pick anything up. So I like setting TBRs and I do call it like my pile of shame or things that I should have got to and I just didn't. But I actually don't mind necessarily that I haven't got to them. I like to, but I don't care over much if I haven't. It's all self-motivated, it's a self-goal, and this year I have read almost 70 books. The Atlas Paradox is actually book number 70 that I'm currently reading, so I've done really well this year and I'm really proud of my reading, but I just haven't quite got to all of the stuff that I ideally wanted to. So let me know if you've still got anything on your TBR that you're trying to finish off before the year ends. I would love to know if I'm in the same boat as you guys, but thank you so much for watching this video. I'll come chat with you down below in the comments and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.